Hello everybody and welcome to the Woolcast. For the new season we've teamed up with a couple of people to help us grow ARW and we all like a few bob as well, so we're not going to lie. Pain Solutions Lymm.co.uk have come on board as our brand sponsors here for the Anfield Road Wolves, and ArmourTalent.com have joined as our marketing and PR partners. Gav, PR partners, we're fucking big time now, buddy.
Yeah, it's gonna take an awful lot to fucking calm me down and make me PR. But if you want to have a go, like, fair fucks to them, fair play to them.
Grizz, you're making a big TV appearance on Wednesday, so we've got PR now, buddy. So we're all covered. We've got it all covered. Marketing, PR. All we need now are agents, and we're good to go.
Yeah, man. My debut. I'm just looking through my cupboard as we speak, trying to find a shirt that fits, but I do believe there's a 24 hours there around the corner from me, so I shouldn't have any problems.
So you know what, Grizz? if it's that big an issue, we'll send the team around, buddy. We'll send the team around to get you all kitted out. That's how we roll.
Have you got?
We'd send Alan Titchmarsh and fucking Charlie Dimmock around just to delve through your fucking wardrobe.
No, true story. Do you know what I really want to know? Who'd be the makeup artist in our group? That's a good question. Who's going to do the makeup for me?
That is a fucking good
I think it's got to be. There isn't. It's got to be Tino, isn't it?
No, Tino's too obvious, isn't he?
He'd have you looking like a fucking clown or something. That's a good
question.
Come on. Gone completely off script here, lads, but that's a brilliant question.
Yeah, well, sorry, you shouldn't have come to me that early. But anyway,
you know what? I reckon Matt would be good at it.
Yeah, I reckon he's I reckon he does himself.
Not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout, Craig.
I'm going for Jonathan. Jonathan's a beautiful man. I reckon he knows how to put on the makeup.
No, Jonathan's natural. Jonathan doesn't do makeup.
He doesn't know how to do a fucking tie, and I'm not buying this excuse that he loosened the top button for driving. I'm not having it, Phil. I'm not having it.
How does he drive?
I don't know, but if you're all fucking looking for makeup artists, can we move on? Seriously.
Yeah. No, just a quick. Yeah, no. It's good you gave me a little plug there, Craig. Thank you.
Pleasure.
If it was hair and makeup, I'd let Ian do the hair because Ian's hair was looking amazing this week.
Oh, shut up about his hair.
Was that him that had the fucking line in the side of his head?
He's been on about his hair. No,
he just gelled his hair, and he was in a playground on a rather large plastic donkey. In a t-shirt and pair of shorts. His hair was fucking amazing.
Are we talking Emre Can amazing hair?
No, nothing quite goes that far, but
scared to head the ball amazing.
He looked well, and for a man of his fucking stature and size, and to just stroll into a playground, t-shirt and shorts on him, and just sit on a really large plastic donkey and look like he was having a great time. Cracking image to see during the week.
I'm not even going to try and picture that in my head. It's just that just goes way above.
You don't need a picture. I'll send it to you. Where do you see his hair? It's fucking gorgeous.
I have a feeling this could be the show logo.
Yeah, Ian's hair is gorgeous.
Getting back to being serious, thanks again to Pain Solutions Lymm.co.uk and ArmourTalent.com for their belief and support in what we're doing here, but heaven help them if they think we are going to be in any way professional or serious, because they're going to be in for one hell of a fucking shock. Lads, opening question.
I am. Don't know about you, talk about yourself.
Opening question. I know we had Grizz's makeup question, but this is one that I actually got you guys to prepare. So, which set of fans, and you can't pick Everton and United because it's too easy, do you hate the most and why? So, Phil, I'm going to come to you first. Who really pisses you off?
Spurs. I hate Spurs. Just hate Spurs. I really, really hate Spurs. I didn't like him anyway to begin with. You don't hate him
in like a Mel Gibson kind of way, do you?
No, I don't want to kiss. No, not quite that bad, no. And again, I'm going to... What is it with you throwing me the fucking curveballs? The other day it was, do I like young boys? And today we're going there.
You said you were looking forward to watching young boys.
Yeah, in the Champions League fixture, just to clarify for anybody listening that didn't hear the other show.
There's that PR kicking in now.
Exactly, yeah. The first scandal I've got to deal with myself. No, do you know, I don't like Spurs. I never liked Spurs. I think, but what exacerbated it for me was my ex's brother was a massive Spurs fan, and he just also happened to be the biggest tool you could ever wish to meet in your entire life.
Did he sing "Oh When the Spurs" really, really slowly?
Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah, but he thought that slowly in the rest of his life as well. The thick git. But no, I can't stand him. Honest to God, he's the one guy that makes my skin just. So yeah, and then we went to a game, and it was the Liverpool versus Spurs game, and he was at White Hart Lane, and he said, "Oh, you can come along. I've got a spare ticket," which is nice. But I ended up sat with the Spurs fans, and it was just the nastiest experience I've ever had in my entire life. It's the only time I've ever not waited to watch Liverpool. I was desperate for the time to hurry up so I could leave. Yeah, I hate Spurs. I
think Spurs is his answer. Now I'm going out on a limb, but I'm going to think Spurs is definitely his answer.
Grizz,
Say one.
Spurs are in your neck of the woods, mate. So what team is it that pisses you off the most?
Phil is going to tip Spurs for the league, isn't he? By the end of this fucking podcast.
Do you know what? Phil made a good point about. I don't know if he made it. I don't know who made this point. I don't think anyone made this point. I just think I'm just making this point up. But
this is amazing.
But you know what? No, but do you know what it is? It's true though. When someone pisses you off from a certain fan base, an individual, you end up hating that team. So I know what you mean. So for example, if X supports you and you really hate that bloke, you end up hating his team. But me from London, it's not Spurs. I haven't got an issue with Spurs because poor old Spurs.
Because you're not racist like Phil.
No, racialist. Phil's racialist. We know that. But no, for me, it's without doubt, easily, it's Chelsea. Chelsea
they're
fans,
a special breed of cunt, aren't they?
Chelsea fans, they are the scum on earth. Honest to God, and they're all posh scum as well. They're posh cunts, which makes it worse. I think it goes back to the rivalry, doesn't it, between the Jose and the Rafa years? It started then, and
they're a bit racist, aren't they, Chelsea?
That was my
when Chelsea were established, is what you're saying to me. When Chelsea became a football club,
when they came,
to Anfield, do you know when Chelsea became a football club in the 2000s?
When they came to Anfield and fell apart because of noise, that Chelsea.
Hatred. My hatred for Chelsea fans is not far behind United fans. You know that. I mean, some people say no, you surely not, but it is, because you got to remember, around here it's they're toxic. They've become so arrogant in the last 10, 15 years. It's unbelievable, and I hate them with fucking passion. Chelsea fans, they are the worst. And oh my God, that halftime text. If I could sort of. You know what me and technology are like, and back in 2005, me and technology was even worse. But if I could sort of still have screenshots of all the messages at halftime, in Istanbul, when all these Chelsea fans were texting me, wow, I'd love to bring them up and sort of retweet them again and again and again. But yeah, Chelsea fans, synonymous with Jose and all that bullshit and racism, and yeah, Chelsea fans.
Right, a couple of things there I have to pull you up on. One, you mentioned you and technology, and I have to be honest and say that we're delayed starting this podcast tonight because it took, how long, Grizz? How long did it take you to sign into Skype?
About 30 seconds. I don't know what you're talking about.
30 seconds, like 30 minutes.
I heard all you were short of doing was ringing BT and asking to send an engineer out.
All I had to do was, as Phil said, ask for my password to be reset.
he just seen all the numbers on the fucking BT account, and he was trying to fucking get Carol Vorderman on Twitter. He was to see if he could figure out what the fuck all the numbers were for.
I'll have 2 from the top and 4 from the bottom, please, Carol.
Yeah. And the second, don't be a bitch about it.
The second thing, Grizz, is you're a brave man, because I can sit here and Gav can sit there and we can slag off anyone who the fuck we want, because we don't have to walk around London after slagging off Chelsea fans and everybody knowing who we are. So brave man, I'll give you that one, buddy.
Grizz has a fucking entourage of him at this stage, for fuck's sake. You mad?
He's got a bouncer.
He'd be grand. Don't be minding them. They're all fucking idiots anyway.
No, I don't. And you're right. It does take a brave man to sort of being a Liverpool fan living in London, surrounded by Chelsea and Arsenal, West Ham fans. Well, to be honest with you,
most United fans.
Well, and United, yeah. Fair point. But no, fucking can't stand them, the fuckers.
Gav, apart from Bohemians, what away fans do you hate the most?
Are we going Liverpool? Just Liverpool?
No, I'll tell you what, you can have any fans in the world. What group of fans do you just dislike?
No, I'll tell you what, I'll just go down to Liverpool route. I don't like any other set of fans. So I'm not going to single anyone out. Don't like anyone. There's no other club I like, have any respect for. They're really nice, aren't they? No, they're fucking not. I don't like any of them. Anyone that turns up at Anfield and sings, let me clarify this. Anyone that turns up at Anfield as an away supporter that doesn't support the London club, but sings "This is a library" in a Cockney accent, they can go fuck themselves.
Anyone who waves fivers as well, Gav. I love that.
They're also the people that say Inger learned.
Yeah, but this is a library or whatever the fuck line they have.
Is this a library?
Yeah, in a Cockney accent, and they're from fucking Sheffield. The likes of them can fuck off. And any other than that, Leeds.
Yeah.
And the reason I don't like Leeds is not because of Leeds, because that fucking song "Marching On Together" is the poxiest fucking football song I have ever heard. And they're not marching fucking anywhere, by the way. And they've never marched anywhere. So yeah, everybody outside of London that sings in a Cockney accent and Leeds. That's my answer.
I'd just like to welcome any non-Liverpool supporters to the podcast. Gav has clearly made you feel very welcome.
Gav thinks you're a cunt.
No, you see, this is the thing. Like, people I really have a soft spot for them. Why? You support fucking Liverpool. You shouldn't like any of them.
Oh, do you know what gets me? I'm going to say
I don't like any of them. I have no respect for any of them. I don't have any time.
These fans that have a second team. I never understand fans that have a second team. What is that about?
Well, there was a picture come up on my Facebook during the week. These what's it called? On this day on Facebook, it tells you what's happened to you over the last couple of years on the same day. And there was literally a guy. There was a picture of a guy standing in what looked like a queue at a bar, maybe, and he has a Manchester City T-shirt on him. It was like, I don't know, fucking league winners or whatever. But on his leg was a Liverpool crest. So I think that's what you're talking about, Phil. But
definitely.
No, I don't like any other sets of fans at all. But that Leeds fucking song does my face in.
I've mixed feelings on Leeds, lads. One, what Gav said, a lot of them are fucking arseholes, but they hate United just as much as we do. So they kind of
get some camaraderie there.
They get some good grace.
Are you going to come in now and say, "Oh, they're a huge club and they deserve to be in the Premier League"? They don't.
No,
they've had 13 years to have a go at it, and they're not a big club anymore. I'll tell you how they're big. There's a massive amount of people driving around.
Fucking Grizz here, contradicting yourself.
No, I'll tell you, I only
fucking cage.
No, you see, don't ask me these sort of questions because I hate all these cunts. I'll tell you what it is. There's an awful lot of people driving around with Leeds stickers into the back windows of their car. If the league table was based on car stickers, I reckon Leeds would be right up there.
Thankfully, it's not based on car stickers. Thankfully.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
That would be a weird league. Don't worry about the football. Just have a kick about
you could just imagine FSG, couldn't you, getting fucking emails going, buy more fucking stickers. Give us more stickers, just shower the fucks.
Yeah, if you don't give us more stickers, we're gonna hire a plane to fly over Anfield and bomb a load of stickers down like confetti out of the sky.
No, they're probably going to hire some sort of courier company to put loads of stickers through people's fucking letterboxes instead of flying shit and all.
I think that sums them up perfectly. It's just buy some fucking stickers.
Yeah.
For me,
buy some stickers.
For me, there's a couple of them. I have to agree with Grizz on Chelsea fans. They really are a special breed of gobshite. I've been to Anfield on numerous occasions when Chelsea have come into town, and they are a cocky shower of gits. They really are. They stride along in their groups of hundreds, thinking they're hard as nails when they wouldn't bait snow off a rope. And then the West Ham fans, they're no great shake either, to be fair. I hate anybody from London that comes up to the north of England, to Liverpool, and starts waving money around in the air. Like, do they not know, one, that's just letting people know you have money and you're going to get the head punched off as soon as you leave the stadium and the money be taken off you? And two, nobody gives a fuck if you're waving fivers and tenors around. Like, do they really think
my favourite is the bin dippers tag. That Liverpool fans are given, especially from United fans, are well known for this bin dippers tag. And it's funny, like, bin dippers, like, it's as if, like, you're jobless fucking people, and there's probably fucking more. There's more unemployment in Manchester than there is in Liverpool.
Happened. Genuinely, that's happened quite a few times last season. Sunderland did it as well. They were singing "Sign On." There's worse unemployment rate in Sunderland than there is in Liverpool.
Yeah, so, you know it's just stereotypes, but look, I was probably a bit harsh on everyone, but
no, you weren't. You were spot on, Gav. Don't be backtracking now.
I was probably a bit harsh, but there's no way I'm going to end up liking you or anything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not taking it back. I don't like any of you. You know,
that goes for everybody on this podcast as well. You hate us all.
For Liverpool fans.
There's not many people I like. There's probably about 3 people in this world I like, and one of them is me. So,
I hope to God one of them is your kid.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Although if she grows up supporting United, she's gone.
I like her more than I like me.
I'm more worried about she starts supporting Leeds.
Yeah. No, she does. She winds me up saying she likes different teams, but she knows where the fucking bread is buttered, you know.
And the last thing I hate when away fans come into town as well is something along what Gav said there. Is this a library, and where's your famous Anfield atmosphere? You're fucking Southampton or fucking Sunderland. You don't get the big atmospheres. Like, you don't deserve them. We don't care that you're there. We're gonna roll over you anyway. You just sing along there and do what you want, and we'll just carry on being fucking awesome. So, basically, long and short of this pod is we fucking hate away fans.
We don't like anyone.
Do you know what, though? I have to caveat that because there's been some amazing away fans at European games that have come to Anfield. And I've witnessed some fantastic sets of fans. I really have. So,
Actually, I'll stick another one into that. Anybody that's come to Anfield and shown respect for the 96, be that by way of a Justice banner, be that by way of shirts or joining in with a song or applause or whatever, you know, especially over the years when a lot of the authorities were shafting us and media were ignoring us and everything else, there have been some away fans that have turned up and shown their respect and shown their support. So credit to them.
I remember
some great Dutch fans as well and German fans over the years that have come to Anfield.
Definitely.
I remember 13-14, I think it was, and ourselves and City were in that big game at the time, and City had the justice for the 96 banner up in there, and even though it was a kind of an edgy game, you know, with a lot at stake. So
respect for that, absolutely.
Yeah, no, just look, it's well documented with regards to United fans, particularly the Europa League game there, the season before last, was it? Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah. They had a lot to say from their end with regards to slurs at Liverpool and different things. But that aside, I think United fans are quite decent on the road, you know. When they get to Anfield, they're loud, and I don't mind that. It's just, I don't know, it's just that fucking Leeds song is still in my head, sorry.
While we're on the subject of hatred and we're all fucking riled up, Grizz, I'm going to come to you with this one, but what better place to start than Felipe Coutinho? What a shitty time to put in a transfer request, Grizz.
Timing's bad, isn't it?
I mean,
the
shocking.
timing. I think it's bad enough that he's had to put in a transfer request, but the fact that he's done it sort of on the eve of the first game, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Literally, wasn't it? It was the first game. I mean, that's what we can say, or what we can guess from knowing Phil, you know, just from TV and sort of, you know, the perception he gives us, is he's been badly advised. He's been absolutely poorly advised, because the timing of that was just, and this is what's I think infuriated Klopp as well. I mean, if this had all happened at sort of the start of the transfer window, then okay, you know, we've been through it, or everyone's discussed the Phil and the Barca sort of connection and the love affair, and yeah, we have to accept it is what it is. You know, the South American players do have, you know, this dream of playing for Barca and Madrid, but to sort of do it on the eve of such a crucial, well, the league campaign and the Champions League qualifier, I think that's what's really, really riled a lot of fans, and have actually, unfortunately, turned a lot of fans against Phil as well.
There's no excuse, Chris. As you said, if these murmurings had came out the end of May, the start of June, it was obvious Barca were going to come in. Phil and his agent had a few words behind the scenes and made their intentions clear. Then we probably could have swallowed it, but to do it second week in August, as you said, right before the Champions League qualifying away leg against Hoffenheim on Tuesday, it really just does smack of disrespect to the club.
It does, but what happens and what's happened is it's obvious that Barca had no intention of signing him this season. What's sort of made Barca panic and go mental with this campaign, this media onslaught and campaign, is the fact that PSG have come in and bummed them, haven't they, basically, with nicking Neymar off them. Well, I say nicking, but, the small matter of 200 million odd pounds, well, that's what's triggered Barcelona, this mental chase for Phil. Now, someone's got to get into Phil's ear. I think he needs to slide into my DMs, maybe. I'll talk him out of it. He needs to tell him that Barcelona...
You couldn't talk him through fucking turning on a microwave. Never mind fucking not leaving the club.
What you should do, Grizz, is arrange a Skype call with him and then take half an hour to figure out the Skype one.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes the next couple of days.
Grizz, if you want to take time there to give a heartfelt message to Coutinho on the podcast here...
We need that music in the background.
We can get it out there.
No, I don't. No, this... A nice private.
We can throw the Titanic. We can throw the Titanic fucking theme behind it.
My words. I don't need music in the background. My words are music. So what basically he needs to do is Phil needs to realize that
that's deep.
Barcelona had no plans to sign him this season, and it's just and they're obviously putting into his brain and through his agents and family that we're not going to come in for you again. Well, that's all bullshit. Someone's got to, Phil's got to understand and realize that he was not part of their long-term strategy.
Well, how much does the club want you if it's now or never? Do you know what I mean? If your club is desperate for a player, what is the... I mean, look at what they did with Suarez. They wanted Suarez. Suarez gave us one more year. Do you reckon if they'd have said now or never and then Suarez had stayed, they wouldn't have tried to sign him the next summer? Total bollocks.
Absolute total bollocks. And the way they're going about it as well, in terms of sort of, look, you got to remember they pulled out feelers for few players. Ousmane Dembele they put in bids for. They've been linked with Mbappe as well. So it's not Phil they want. It's just they want a player.
They want a big name.
Neymar's left, and they want a big name. So there's not much strategy behind it. I mean, Barcelona, as you said, sort of was strategic with Suarez. And they accepted, okay, no problem, not this year, but we'll come back for you next year. And, it was quite, in the end, it was quite calculated how they, went about Suarez. This is just absolutely, and I think it's affected Klopp because, did you guys see the press conference afterwards? It's the first time I've seen Klopp, not sort of riled, basically. He was slightly riled, wasn't he?
After the game.
With the whole situation, frustrated, and let's hope he gets sorted out one way or the other, man, because it's not good for team morale the way things are going.
No, he seemed a lot more killed today, though.
He did, yeah.
Once he had another 24 hours.
The writing should have been on the wall, Gav, when we seen him get that fucking Mickey Mouse tattoo. I mean, that should have been a sign to us all that he wanted out, because that was fucking shocking.
Shouldn't be allowed. That's
the influence of a Moreno, isn't it? Come on, that's pure hanging around with Moreno. That's what it does to you. It's like if I hang around with Phil long enough, right? I'd be drinking beer out of a protein shaker as well, because that's what Bill's doing. Phil, can you confirm that you are drinking beer out of a protein shaker that's used for athletes and
actually
fitness
right now I'm drinking a liter of Iron Brew out of a protein shaker.
Oh, is it Iron Brew? Okay.
I'm on the Iron Brew tonight.
I beg your
It's
pardon.
Usually beer.
It was beer.
It is true.
I'm drinking pints out of a fucking blender.
It's less. I tell you what, it is. It's less. It's less chips back and forth to the kitchen because I can fit more in. So I just.
No, that's Gav's excuse. Yeah.
Top it at one and it's done.
But you get what I mean. I mean that Craig goes talking about the things like sort of his tattoos and whatever. That's pure Moreno influence, isn't it? Pure Moreno influence.
Yeah, it is. Gav, what's your take on this situation? Is there any way back for Coutinho if the club put their foot down and say, look, you're fucking staying, buddy?
The club have to. I think I read something the other day, and it's I always caveat this stuff with who you believe and who you don't believe, but I did hear something along the lines of Klopp had spoken to Coutinho at the end of last season, asked him what was happening. He assured him he'd no interest in going anywhere, and this is what has annoyed Klopp now, where he has turned around and said he wants to go. Apparently, and I say apparently because I don't believe a lot of what's said. Apparently, his family members are now saying he'd fallen out with Klopp, which is fucking complete bullshit.
Nonsense.
Yeah, absolute nonsense. Barcelona have said it's now or never. We won't come back for you. If Barcelona said that to Coutinho, Coutinho should say, look, I owe this club another year, and if you don't want to come back for me, fuck off. And, have a little bit of fucking balls about you. It's either that or you don't believe in your own ability that can get you there in a year's time. So you're worried about a player's actual, mental fucking state and mental belief in himself if he thinks that this is now or never.
Maybe that's the way to get him to reform.
Yeah, but I think Coutinho is going to be another 10 or 20% better again next summer. There's another issue to this. There's another issue to this as well. I think Barcelona see this as, look, Barcelona had fuck all money. Let's be perfectly honest about it. They got absolutely swindled out of Neymar. They have to go and make a statement to not only get someone to replace him, but they've appeased their fans. Ousmane Dembele, I think, is grounded now. Maz grounded him now indefinitely because he's been playing offside with Barca.
Very naughty boy.
He's not the Messiah.
Yeah, so he's grounded. He's not allowed out to play at all. And the thing is, they know if they have to pay 130 million odd pound now, they know in a year's time it could be anywhere up to, it could be 200 million next summer. If Coutinho goes and hits 20 goals and 15 assists for Liverpool, wins a league or the Champions League or any sort of trophy and goes into next year's World Cup as Brazil's main man, the price just keeps going up and up and up. Getting back to, is there any hope of him staying? I think he needs to have hope of leaving rather than us have hope of staying. FSG, I've said it all. I've said it since the final whistle went against Middlesbrough. It's a huge summer for them. If they sell Coutinho, it's pointless what they do otherwise because it's still showing them as selling their best player. And they doubled down on that last Friday morning and they made a statement where they said, we won't entertain any bids. We don't encourage any bids, and he'll be a player belonging to Liverpool Football Club come the end of the transfer window. The only thing about that is that came about 4 hours before the actual transfer request was made official. I find it hard to believe that they went with that statement without putting it in front of the player and showing him what they were about to do. Now, he could have reacted negatively or positively, I don't know, but I'm sure the player's seen that before it went anywhere. I think he stays. I think for FSG's sake, he has to stay. Some people are saying Klopp wants him to stay, and FSG are saying no, we can get this money and he can go. But look, we've a load of money in that hole in our pocket, and we can't get rid of it. What's another 150 million on top's only going to make it? It's not even going to make it easier to sign players. It's going to make it harder. I think he stays.
I've heard other things as well. I've heard the other way around that FSG are adamant that he's not going anywhere, and the Klopp's had enough of it, and he wants him out.
Well, you see, now, there you go. So that proves the point, doesn't it? What to believe and what not to believe. I'm literally catching snippets of this because I'll be 100% honest with you and anyone that's listening. I switch off from this stuff. It's got to the stage now where I just go, look, go away, will you? I'm going to watch Liverpool at fucking 8:15 on Tuesday night or whatever night, what time it is tomorrow night. I think he stays. For FSG's point of view, I think he does stay. But if it was me, I'd sell him, and I would have sold him as soon as he handed in that transfer request. If the player doesn't want to play for Liverpool, take the money and go. It's simple as that. That's the way I look at it.
That's firmly where I'd be on this situation as well. Right,
yeah, if I was to bet on it,
I was fine. But once that went in, that was it for me.
Yeah, because it's very hard for the player to come back after doing this, having supposed family making all these comments and putting stuff out in the media. He's being badly advised, as Grizz said. All joking aside, Grizz is spot on. He's being badly advised. He knew he could. Listen, his agent could have gone to Barcelona 2 months ago and said, what's the story? Yeah, we want them. Okay, well, look, we can do a deal at this. And we can hand in a request now and we can get it done. They didn't. Barcelona are panicking. The lads are right. I think he stays, but if it was me, I'd sell him. But if I did sell him, I'd probably just go, listen, we want him, and him, and this is the money we have to pay, and this is what we're going to fucking pay. Bite the bullet, and it's the only way I think FSG survive. That's being honest with you.
Phil, we're not buying surely that he has a back injury and that's the reason why he's gone out to Germany.
No, of course we don't. Not at all. Not at all. It's just the usual shit, isn't it? He's got an injury, he's got a bug, he's not feeling himself. It's all nonsense.
He doesn't want to be cup tied.
No, well, I don't think he can be in it.
He can't be cup tied in this one. The qualifiers apparently don't count.
Yeah.
Oh, did he not?
No, I thought the same as you, but I had somebody
I always thought they were.
on the TV site earlier on.
Do you know what?
Then I hope his back gets better soon.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I think I'm probably somewhere else from Gav, if I'm honest. I think they do want to sell him, but I think if they... Do you know what? Football is so fickle in this day and age that if they held their nerve, you know, slap the balls down on the table and say, you're not going anywhere, son, you know, I would actually question... I mean, Gav, I get exactly what you're saying, mate, and from a romantic point of view, I think, yeah, you know what, it could be hard for him to come back from that, but I'm not sure it would. I mean, he's such a majestic player to watch. He's fun to watch. He can't have a bad season because the World Cup's coming up.
And us football fans are fickle as fuck as well.
Well, that's what I mean. So if Coutinho comes back into this, you know, transfer window closes, he comes back, knowing PR as I do, he'd probably come out with some sort of bullshit statement about how they got into his ear, but he's fully focused on Liverpool and he loves the city, he loves the club, and you know, and it gets put to bed and he has a couple of good performances on the pitch. This will all be forgotten. I mean, it won't be forgotten, but it won't be discussed about. And I think all the hatred will go for him. We all make mistakes, and I think if it was portrayed as a mistake,
I don't make mistakes.
Well,
but Phil, do you not agree that that's you presuming that everything goes really well? I think if you get Coutinho in the team that it's not going well, the first thing would have been was
it's him because he's not with it. His heart's not
traitor and this, that, and you know what I mean? Like people are fickle, so it can go both ways. If it's not going well, he can end up with a hell of a lot of abuse.
Coutinho has created a rod for his own back, but let's be honest, Absolutely. He deserves it because he did this. He did this the day before the start of the season. Now, get Barcelona panicking and all that kind of stuff, but he's not stupid. And you know what, Grizz, you hit the nail on the head before, mate, when you said about he's being misadvised. If he's being told by his representatives that this is it, you know, it's now or never, shit or bust, you're going to have to do whatever it takes to make this move happen, then they're not being fair to him either because there's not a hope in hell that that's true. You know, Phil is he's a Brazilian lad. We rescued him from the barrels of Inter Milan when he was looking average at best. Some sparks there, but there wasn't a great deal going on for him. We've done well for his career. We've really helped him. I think he's not showing us a fair amount of respect. We all get it. Players come, players go. Teams like Barcelona and Real Madrid come knocking, you're going to have to answer the door. But there's a right way and a wrong way to go about this, and he went about this the wrong way. And I'd like to think, as Grizz has said, that this isn't Phil. This is his representatives.
Grizz, I want to give you the last word on this one, buddy, because the lads have had their say. They've made some points that you might want to come back in on.
No, they've been spot on in terms of you know, is there a way back for him? And as Phil said, look, if what Phil described was the perfect scenario for everyone, you know, that would be the perfect scenario. But look, the reality, according to what I've been told, the reality of it is now, right, as it stands, is FSG made that statement and they were adamant that they weren't going to sell him. There was no chance of Phil being sold. Klopp didn't want him sold, of course, but that transfer request and the subsequent press that came along with it has totally changed Klopp's mind, because Klopp's a disciplinarian. Klopp's all about team morale. Klopp's all about team, as we know with regards to Sacco, etc. Klopp has, behind the scenes, said, unless Phil apologizes, unless Phil comes out publicly or to himself and apologizes and says, look, my you know, it was a mistake, as Phil says, and thing happens, you know, stories are emanating. I haven't said anything because you got to remember, Phil hasn't made a public statement yet.
He said nothing. Yeah. No, well, that's what they do. His family do it for him to force the move.
He said nothing. Nothing has come from him.
But now Klopp's fuming, mate. Klopp will only accept Phil to stay at the club if Phil says sorry and apologizes to his teammates and him. FSG are in a spot of bother here because they have made that statement and they've said he is not for sale at any price.
They always put themselves in this position though because they're amateurs.
Right, but now they are and they will, in my opinion, 100% they will accept the next bid from Barcelona unless Phil stops it. Phil's the only one that can change this scenario now by saying, I don't want to leave. If Phil keeps his stance,
which isn't going to happen.
There you go. If Phil keeps his stance of I want to go, Phil's gone, mate. Phil's gone. Our last bid. You know, it was. You got to remember, this is the second highest fee in world football we're about to receive for Phil Coutinho, who was 8 million. Guys, someone help me out. Yeah,
8.5
million when we bought him. 8.5 million.
Yeah, but Grizz, Grizz, that's not the point. I don't care if we bought him for a fucking tenner. The point is, he is our best player. He is our best player. Our owners haven't promised us anything, but it's widely known the amount of money we have, judging by the last couple of transfer windows and what we've spent, the money from TV and everything else, the money that's in the game, what we actually need, and we are going to go and sell our best player. I don't care what we sign. We are going to sell our best player.
Yep, I agree with everything you say. But shall I tell you what's changed it all? Or what's the driving force behind this? Jurgen Klopp. Because he doesn't give a shit if he's the best player or the worst player in the team. And this is where he is different from Brendan Rodgers or anyone else in this scenario, a weaker manager. He is fuming. He is fuming that this has come out at this time. He was assured by Phil and his representatives only 6 months ago that Phil is happy here. He signed a 5-year contract. He was rested, he was no guarantees. There's no guarantees in football, but Phil made no sort of clauses in that contract. Like, look, if Barca come, I want to go Barca, nothing of the sort. And this is where Jurgen's big on trust, guys. Jurgen has said he feels absolutely, betrayed. He feels betrayed here. I can't see a way back for Phil. Just like I said, I can't see a way back for Sacco. Once you get on the wrong side of Klopp, he's a very, very stubborn man. I know you're saying FSG will look weak here. It's not about FSG here, Gab.
That's FSG's way out. That's FSG's way out now.
And they've managed
they can turn around now and sell this player for 140 odd million and say, look, we discussed it with the manager and we thought it was best that he was the bid was accepted.
And that's what's going to happen. Unless
and you know something, Phil,
and stops the transfer himself.
Yeah, do you know something, Grizz? I've no issues with that because FSG haven't done what they're meant to do this summer. With regards to this transfer, selling their best player, if it was them selling their best player, again, look, if it comes out that they sold their best player and Klopp wanted to keep him, I'd be major issue. If it comes to them where they said, look, we have to go back on our word, we have to sell this player because the manager has had enough and we're giving him the final say, I have no issue with that.
And that's what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's going to happen.
But the only thing that's going to smooth it over is if they get 140 million for this fella, right? They are going to need to go and they're going to need to slap 75 million down on Van Dijk. They're going to need to slap 80 down on Keita. They're going to have to slap another 60 or 70 down on the likes of a Draxler or whoever else.
Well, this is where the panic. This is where the panicking. This is where the panic is set in, and there's rumors and murmurings of discontent because it is literally the facts are that we haven't managed to secure our targets for X amount of weeks. What is to say we are guaranteed to secure them in the last 2 weeks? Doesn't matter how much money they have, and FSG know this because this transfer window has been a jungle. It's a jungle out there, and we're struggling. And this is why. Listen, in a normal scenario, FSG would be rubbing their hands. 130 million cash, and we want most of it up front. That is going to be another clause. Another one of the conditions. We want it up front.
Be demanding it up front because we know Barcelona have 222 million euro in cash.
They will.
The 40 odd million that they're after spending for Paulinho.
But what Gav's saying is correct. They need to go out and make a stand now make a scene that look, okay, we've been forced to. And as Gav says, that's the crucial part now, because FSG have done their part in terms of he's not for sale, and he wasn't. And I believe their stance, that was true. That wasn't PR.
Yeah.
But
the line is going to be, we've listened to our manager, and we're going to go with
that's it.
Lads, I want to bring.
Oh, sorry, Craig.
Phil,
I
need to get Phil back in on this, because he's been patiently sitting there wanting to jump in while you and Grizz have been hotly debating this one. So, Phil, go on, come in. What's your point?
Do you know what? It was about the Phil Coutinho family stuff, and Grizz, you just mentioned FSG and the money that's been mooted around. This is one of my biggest frustrations, if I'm honest, with Liverpool social media, is that people come out with stupid shit like, well, the FSG never actually said it, and Phil never actually said it. It's like the media is a tool, and that's how the media is used. So FSG released at the beginning of the summer, they briefed people to say, we're going to smash our transfer record 3 or 4 times. We've got X amount of money. Go get the fans excited. They've then failed to hit their targets, and they haven't bought the players they needed or wanted. They haven't been able to secure top targets, as Grizz has said. And as we get to the end of the summer, it's dead easy for them to say, well, we never said that. Somebody else did. The press said it. Exactly the same with Phil. There's a reason that Phil hasn't spoken. Phil hasn't spoken because everything that Phil wants to say, or more importantly, everything that Phil's team wants him to say to facilitate this move, is being said from close contacts and family members of Phil that's being leaked into the press. There's a reason for that, in case the deal doesn't happen, so that Phil can come out and say, well, I never said any of that stuff. And the media is a tool in all of this, so I think that's key, isn't it? I think the really interesting point, and I think Grizz has said this, is that statement from FSG, because I didn't take any solace from that, if I'm honest. I saw this 1-line, 2-line statement. It's really short. There's hardly anything to it about Phil Coutinho not leaving. And whilst everybody else had a big sigh of relief, I went, oh shit, something's coming. Because it just seemed really weird and really short. It was Phil's not for sale. And it's like, Gav, you've said it before about Leipzig. Why do they keep coming out saying that Keita's not for sale? Why do they keep bringing it up? Even when it seems like we're not talking about it, they're bringing it up in the papers to say he's not going. So a really weirdly timed statement from FSG with 2 lines on it saying Phil's not for sale, for me, was almost like, remember when you were a kid and you were fighting with someone, and like a brother or something, and you smacked each other, and then one of them goes to tell your mum. So you rush off first and go, he hit me. And then he comes in with a bloody nose and goes, he hit me too. That's what it felt like for me. It was they were getting in there first. They knew this.
Just some breaking news as we're discussing, Phil. It's so relevant.
Love breaking news, Phil.
Oh,
insert
guys,
yellow bar
okay.
across the screen.
Well, this is it. But I mean, this is totally contradicts what I've said and some of us have said.
To be fair, Grizz, we've all been fucking contradicted quite a lot lately.
So here we go. So Klopp has turned around today and said, we don't want money. We want to invest in the team and have the best team because we have our aims and dreams. Klopp says Coutinho will return to the fold when he's fit to help spearhead the pursuit of silverware. So now this is coming out of Klopp's mouth. Now Klopp's words are, we don't want their money. So this has confused the scenario again. I was having a conversation yesterday, and it didn't exactly go down very well, did it? As you guys know, on social media, I shared some info that I'd heard from some people. You made a
massive rookie mistake.
Well, that was it. Well, I just opened my mouth, which is always a bad mistake, and then to say things that people don't want to hear is another thing. But I'd heard the same thing, which again, the plot thickens, doesn't it? Because I'd heard that Klopp doesn't want him to go and made it very clear to the owners he doesn't want it to go, and the owners are too busy rubbing their hands. So again, when statements like this are made in front of live press, I can't help but think, are you doing that with the backing, or are you doing that to apply pressure on the owners? Because it's one or the other. The owners are either now on side you and completely agree with you, which is why you're saying it, or you're saying stuff in the press to cause I'm not going to say as many problems because that's ridiculous, but if there is a bit of a power struggle or political stuff, or there's a bit of if there's a bit of animosity with going on in the background, which I've certainly heard there is, but if there's a bit of animosity going on in the background, what a better way to get your point across and solve it, and well, not solve the problem, but have your stamp on this by going in front of live press where they can't edit what's going out and say, he's not going anywhere, we're not selling him, we're not that kind of club.
Yeah,
no. Craig, we've kept you long enough on this one, but
we could sit here and talk about this for hours as well, Gav. To be fair, we could go on forever.
I can't. I fucking don't even like it. This will go on. We're on
Hold on.
Thursday. We'll probably come back again and
definitive. Just the last definitive statement, guys. Definitive. This is quite clear.
Would you say it's definitive though, Grizz?
Is it definitive?
Sorry, Grizz. Before you make this definitive statement, and I'm really, really waiting for it, and I'm really excited about it.
No, it's Klopp.
It'll be definitive.
No, I know it's Klopp, and do you know what? I think if Klopp is saying these words that you're saying, I think it suits FSG down to the ground. I think it gets them. It can get them to the stage where they just go. He wants them to stay, and we've made a statement. It matches up. They can work this either way.
Yep.
Well, he's blatantly said, "I am 100% sure that we don't sell the player now in this situation. Not a player from the first team lineup for sure." There you go.
Right. I'm going to have to push it and leave it there, lads. We could go on about Phil Coutinho forever. We all want to talk about him, and I'm sure when we get off the pod, we'll still be talking about him. None of us believe he's injured. We have had a fair few players on the treatment table. Earlier on, I caught up with Tim Case from Pain Solutions to have a chat about injury treatments and cryotherapy in general. So we're going to go over to our interview with Tim now. I'm joined by Tim Case of Pain Solutions Lymm. Tim is a therapist with over 13 years experience in the industry, but interestingly, he specialises in cryotherapy. Tim, I know at Pain Solutions you do lots of different things. You do deep tissue massage, manipulation therapy, structural assessment, structural alignment, skeletal alignment. The list goes on and on, but what makes cryotherapy so unique and so popular?
Cryotherapy, well, first of all, it's not a new thing to the market at all, which people think it's a new faddy thing. It actually was first used on the human body in 1958. So it's not a new thing. It's had a long time to mature and get into, if you like, mainstream sports. What makes it so popular, I think, is the time that the athletes are actually in the chamber. You're looking at 3 minutes per session. So after the game or before the game, you can go in for a quick blast and come out very, very, very quickly. Whereas before the ice baths, predominantly you have to be in an ice bath for, to be effective, you have to be in it for 38 minutes.
I've been in an ice bath before, Tim, and it's not a pleasant experience.
It's not pleasant, mate. And it actually turns detrimental to the tissues at 32 minutes. So you're in it for a long time. And like you said, Craig, it's not pleasant, mate. It's not nice at all. Now, the cryotherapy is, one, it will take away the aches and pains a lot quicker. And two, you don't feel as cold as you do sat in an ice bath for fucking 35 minutes. So you warm up rapidly as well, because obviously you're taking the temperature a lot colder than zero, which is obviously 0 degrees is ice. We can actually take you to about minus 160 degrees. So there's quite a lot of difference in the difference of temperatures as well.
Do you have to be... I see a lot of it in sport, Tim, and I see a lot of professional athletes who get cryotherapy and stuff, but is it something that's accessible to the common man, like to the working man on the street, or do you have to be a superstar athlete to afford this treatment?
Yeah, very, very interesting, mate, because to be honest with you, up to about 3.5 years ago, certainly in England, you wouldn't be able to get cryotherapy anywhere. It was literally elite sports people or millionaires that had cryotherapy, and literally nobody else. Pain Solutions have bought the cryotherapy to the working man, basically, and it's not extortionately charged, which people think it is. People think it's really, really expensive. It's actually not an expensive treatment.
What type of cost are we looking at then for... I know all injuries depend on the severity, but for, say, a typical session, what would be the cost?
Per session, I mean, obviously, if there's a group booking, it could be a discounted price, but per person, per treatment, it's £40.
£40, wow. I have to say that's pretty reasonable, to be fair. 40 quid doesn't get you much these days, does it?
It doesn't at all, mate. And if you think, a consultation in the NHS, a 10-minute consultation, 250 quid, they don't touch you.
That's shocking. 250 quid is absolutely crazy. You were mentioning there about the new machines that you've invested in and the new vehicles that you've invested in. I have to say, you've sent me pictures of it and it looks unbelievable. Think of the biggest RV you could possibly think of with the canopy, the whole lot, and this is what Pain Solutions are after bringing to the market. So if I'm right, Tim, you can take this vehicle anywhere, any sports club, treat people athletes, 3 people at work, whatever it needs?
Absolutely, yeah. We normally say if people can get us a minimum of 8 people call-outs, we'll go to wherever that be, whether it be a workplace, whether it be football stadiums, athletic tracks, music festivals. We can turn up wherever there's crowds of people needing treatments. We can certainly turn up there. Yeah, no problem at all.
And what would be the core of your business? Would it be sports, or would it be professionals, or what would be your daily routine?
My daily routine, why I love being a therapist, Craig, is quite literally, I could work with a world level boxer or triple jumper. I could then work with a 94-year-old lady who's fallen off a curb. I could then work with a 7-year-old with a twisted pelvis. So my core clients doesn't really exist. There's no standard person I treat, basically. They do say with the whole body cryotherapy that you need to be 14 years old. But I think certainly with parental permission, things like that, as long as the consents are signed, even that age could be pushed, because I think it's questionable anyway at what ages can be treated.
Could you talk us through a couple of injuries that might find cryotherapy beneficial? I know obviously we think of sports, we think of athletes, we think of muscle injuries, deep tissue injuries, things like that, but is there anything else that it's of much benefit for?
If I actually ran through the list of benefits, Craig, I would end up boring you, to be honest with you. The benefits just go on.
I'm fascinated by it all, Tim. You wouldn't be boring me at all.
Well, what's very interesting, you can go from fibromyalgia to ME to MS to breathing conditions, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis. Okay, there's loads of conditions, even to the point of psoriasis and eczemas. Wow. Because all the cryotherapy does, you see, is it puts the body into massive healing. So, excuse me, as soon as you're in there, the whole body tries to heal itself. So as long as you've not got open wounds on the human body, you can actually treat a number of conditions. We've certainly had people going in covered in psoriasis, coming back about 4 days later and say, God, this is 1, changed colour, 2, it's not as itchy, and 3, it appears to be going down.
And what would be the average number of visits that a client would go through, Tim?
Massively depends, Craig. If we're all being completely honest, it massively depends. What whole body cryotherapy is not a miracle. It's not a touch by Jesus and you've got legs again and you can walk. It's not that. They actually say in the book you'd be better to have a course of like 3 or 4 treatments to really feel what it's done. Now, some people, Craig, come out of the cryo totally rejuvenated with aches and pains gone. Okay, and sort of going, wow, that is unbelievable, that's fantastic. Some people go and go, yeah, I'm not fully sure what I'm feeling, but it's such a wide spectrum. I couldn't tell you for absolute guarantee what 1 session would do and what 2 sessions would do on one person, not on another. So I would always say it's not a one-off wonder treatment. I would say give it a couple and see how your whole body feels. See how your sleeping feels at night, because it certainly knocks you out. Because the human body tries to repair once we're sleeping. So what it does, it initiates sleep as well, so your sleep patterns. So if you're sleeping, in my book, you're healing. So if you do nothing else but sleep better at night, the human body's healing. So, it massively induces your sleep patterns, which as a therapist is very, very, very important.
There's one question that I can't let you go, Tim, without asking you, and people have heard of lots of different fads in sport and things. We've heard crazy things like horse plasma therapy and stuff like that, but what makes cryotherapy safe and what makes it something that is going to be around for the long term?
One of the main reasons is you're not putting anything into the body. Okay, you are literally making the human body act to its best potential. So all you're doing is you're telling the human body to act in its best defences against injuries and increased circulation, things like that. So quite literally, you're not putting anything into the body. You're just telling the body to act better and be better. So it wouldn't be like a fad for me. I mean, for example, it's massive in America. It's been used for 4 years in America. but it's tiny in England. So it tells me if it was a fad, it would disappear in America quite quickly.
If anybody wants to get in touch with Tim, the website is painsolutionslymm.co.uk. Tim's more than happy to have any conversations if you get in touch with him. He's a lovely guy. I've really enjoyed talking with him. Phil, I gotta say, cryotherapy sounds like good stuff. I always thought, to be fair, that it was only for the likes of footballers and stuff, and it's something that I knew nothing about. So it really interested me, to be honest, buddy.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to have a fair bit of cryotherapy treatment. And do you know, what was interesting for me was the list of benefits, as Tim alluded to, are endless, which I think is pretty cool. I mean, for me, I didn't have a particular injury. I just had I call it a golf ball. I think it's stress and tension related. But basically, I've got this knot, or had this knot in my shoulder. And it made it sure that when I did kind of Wim my arm, it was just crunching away and making horrible noises. I could never seem to get rid of the bugger. I'd have a like Thai massage or something, it'd be gone for half an hour and then it's back again. I had two cryotherapy sessions and a deep tissue massage, and it's gone. Genuinely, I've had this thing for years. I had 2 sessions and a massage, and it is gone. And it's been gone for the best part of 6 months. So I highly rate it. It's basically just being able to, you know, you can get a massage, and the harder they go, the better it is for you to kind of get rid of the tension and all that kind of stuff.
I gotta be honest with you, if I get a massage, there better be a damn happy ending, or it's not happening.
Oh, I don't know if Tim does that. I'll double check with him. But no, I mean, the cryotherapy, what it does is it freezes that particular area and kind of puts it in, sort of resets it into like a recovery state. But it also means that because you can't feel it because it's numb, they can get as deep into that tissue as they want to manipulate it back into position. And ultimately, all right, it feels a little bit tender the next day, but it's a godsend. I'm a massive fan, I have to be honest.
Gav, you're another yuppie that likes to play golf. Any injuries over the years?
Yeah. I've won at the minute, believe it or not. I haven't played golf in about 5 weeks. When I'm swinging the club, it's up. It's right. It's not in the back of my shoulder. It's the front of my shoulder. It's as I'm swinging the golf club, as I'm coming back, as I come down on the downswing. It's really at me. But that's just fucking me. Just, I don't know, being a hypochondriac. I'll get over it. I'll be back playing golf next week because I can't stay off the course. It's been long enough as it goes. Or the cans, and cans on the golf course. What a mix. But now my wife is really interested in this because my wife actually injured herself genuinely about 10 years ago in work. And she's been to every sort of physio and all sorts since, you know. And when I told her about this sponsorship that we've got, immediately she said, look, I don't care about you and your podcast, just ask the bloke where he is and kind of go and see him. So no, it sounds really interesting. And it's not just for footballers and,
well, he was saying,
you know,
that
professional
40
athletes.
Quid, 40 quid a session.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like my wife pays, it's 50 or 60 quid once a month to go and get this. It's like a 2-hour massage or whatever it's called. But no, she's someone that would be really, really into it. So it sounds really interesting. And look, if it helps people, all the better, you know.
Absolutely. Right, we'll get back onto the football. Opening weekend of the Premier League this weekend. It was weird for me having games on a Friday. But Grizz, was there any players or teams that shocked you or caught your eye this weekend?
Huddersfield had a brilliant victory, didn't they?
Yeah, they really fucking did.
Away to Palace, De Boer's first game, you would have thought, Palace would have won that comfortably. I mean, Huddersfield, and they won it quite comfortably. Was it 3-0 in the end?
3-0 it was in the end, yeah.
Amazing. So, yeah, well done to Huddersfield. Out of the big boys, we hate to say it,
kill you to say this, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. But they did look strong, didn't they? The 2 Manchester clubs, they did fucking look strong. Jose, notoriously, in his second season, usually wins the league or challenges, and this is his second season. He seems to have targeted the weaknesses in his team and sort of gone out and just bought whatever he wants. He's still to buy a creative player as well. So, but, you know, my tips at the start of the season, I think you guys know, was City. And they did look impressive, I must admit. If we don't win it, I'd rather much City win it more than any other team. But yeah, the two Manchester clubs looked strong. The rest of it was a bit of a. Everyone was really excited and sort of, oh, the Premier League's back and look how many goals. But let's be honest, it was just there was the art of defending has completely gone, hasn't it? I mean, there was some of the most shambolic goals you've ever likely to see. So it was exciting, but on a technical level or on a tactical level, yeah, it was a bit of a shambolic weekend actually.
Gav, Grizz touched on the defending there, and I think for the first, I think it was the first two games, the Arsenal game and then the Liverpool game, there was something ridiculous like 10 shots and 10 goals before a goalkeeper made a save. It
was mental. It was mental, yeah.
Defending seems to be gone, Gav.
Yeah, you see, I have this thing about the opening day of the season, and I don't. If Liverpool had went out there and won 4-0 on Saturday, I wouldn't have taken much out of it. I would have been really happy. 3 points. Hopefully, a couple of new signings on the score sheet. Salah did do that, but I don't take much out of it. The first day of the season is just crazy. You get teams that just are a bit slow starting, not in the groove. You get teams that are just ready to rock and roll and they go for it. I actually had a discussion today with a United fan and he watched both games. I didn't watch the United game because I've no fucking interest in them. But he watched both games and he just said to me, he said, and he put it well, because when I hear this from a United fan, I think, yeah, he's probably right, because they can be the most boyish shower of fuckers you'll ever come across. But he just said, the funny thing about that Liverpool game was Watford didn't do anything to score 3 goals, so it's definitely, they're all avoidable. And Liverpool probably could have had 6 if they'd have put chances away between, say, the 55th and 75th minute. And then I asked him about United, and he said, yeah, United were good. They got 4, they probably could have got 8, but 50% of that was United looking good, and 50% of that was West Ham were fucking awful. So you have to kind of take it in perspective. It's the first day of the season. I don't really look at the league table about 10 games in, when you're halfway through your first set of games, the kind of way. Did anyone impress me? City,
no,
yeah,
I think.
No. City did. I watched a bit of City, and although
you're a hard man to impress, mate. That's the.
I am because I don't fucking like any of them. But I watched City, and the one thing I would say about them was, okay, they weren't great in the first 55, 60 minutes, I think, against Brighton, but they were always in control, always. It was complete control. I don't think that result for Arsenal done them any good. 3 goals at home. No, I'm not too worried about them. Spurs needed a man sent off because John Joe Shelby's a fucking idiot to go and get their win. So
standard.
It's the first day of the season, and I don't take much out of it. As I said last week, you take a point away from home, and you walk away, and you go again.
Phil, there's a couple of things I want to pick up on there that Gav said. He said you take a point away from home, but for me, and I know Gav agrees with this as well because we spoke about it, but it's the way we got that point. If that had been a 1-1 draw or a 0-0 draw away at Watford, it would have been a lot more palatable than the 3-3 fuckfest that we ended up fucking watching. And we were WhatsApping back and forward during the game, and at 3-2 you said to me, what do you think? We're going to go on and win this 4 or 5-2, and I said, you know what, if we don't hurry up and get this forward, I have a feeling it's going to end up 3-3.
Yeah, we missed a couple of chances as well. I mean, I know Matip was unlucky. I think it was Matip when he hit the bar, and watching stuff like that, I was thinking to myself, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? Do you know what? I think you can stomach a draw. You can even stomach a loss sometimes when you deserve it. I think that game was particularly hard because it was entirely our fault. And I think that was the most frustrating thing for it, was that we lost that game, not because Watford were good, but because we were shit at the back. Grizz, you mentioned before that the Premier League seems to have stopped the art of defending. I'd just like to point out that Liverpool stopped defending before it was cool.
Fair enough,
we've been playing this for a couple of years now, so we obviously were ahead of the time. We just gave up with defence altogether. But yeah, no, I can see the frustration. I was mostly frustrated because it was our fault. You couldn't yell at a ref. You couldn't yell at, and I'm sure, but while we're on referees, Kevin Friend's doing our game of the weekend, which is going to be great because everybody knows I'm a massive fan of Kevin Friendless. So I'll probably shout at the referee during that game. You can write that now, but it was all our fault. And I think that was the hardest thing to stomach, was that there was nobody to blame for this other than ourselves, and that's an added bit of pain.
Grizz, you like to play devil's advocate, and you're a fair man, so is there anything we can take from a positive side of that 3-3 draw at Watford?
Most definitely. Our attack hardly flexed their muscles. Our attack, minus Phil Coutinho, managed to score 3 goals just, without even... I don't think we clicked at all, and we managed to score 3 goals away at Watford on the opening day of the season. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold was probably the best defender. The youngest defender was probably the best defender out of his seniors, so that's a positive. But that's about it.
Taking set pieces as well, Grizz.
Yeah, he whipped in some beautiful set pieces, didn't he? So yeah,
was it his ball that Matip got the header from as well? I think it was.
The corner.
I think he took the corners, didn't he, or something?
The bar,
yeah. So Trent was a positive. The attack was a positive. Without, as I said, clicking into gear, still managed to sort of show glimpses of what can be possible, and if this Phil situation can be resolved, we're pretty frightening. Listen, I tweeted at the time, you will never see 3 easier goals for opposition all season. You will they were the most easiest goals you'll ever likely concede, and some of them are freakish. I mean, come on, that last goal, right, from the corner, Ginny just misses a header completely. For whatever reason, we have no idea. He misses the header completely. The guy lashes it across the goal, and Mignolet punches it into his own net. I mean, that was quite freaky. The second goal, where Trent actually gets clearance, doesn't he? He gets a boot to the ball, clears it, and it hits, I think, one of our players who's on the floor. I can't recall who it was.
Yeah, it hit Matip on the floor.
Hit Matip on the floor because he slid in to sort of stop the first ball. Trent's cleared it. It hit Matip, and it's just there on a plate for the defense.
Like a comedy of errors, isn't it?
Some of these, it's surely it's just a. We know we've been here before, and we've said, surely it's a one-off, and it's not going to be, like this for the rest of the season. But let's see how it goes, man.
We've been saying that about corners for about 3 years.
Yeah, that's true. Gav, I kind of agree and disagree with a few things there that Grizz said. I thought Trent was bright, but I thought he was a little bit naive defensively throughout the game. What really didn't impress me was the midfield, if I'm being honest. I wasn't one bit impressed with our midfield. What did you make of it?
Well, you asked about positives, and this might sound a bit strange, but
Gav,
we can see
you're
the 3
not in a
goals.
positive mood tonight, so you don't need to. You're hating everybody,
So
we don't want to stress it.
I'm in great form. I'm in great form. This is me in good form. So if you don't like it, wait you see what the rest of the season fucking brings. But no, like them 3 goals, there's actually a positive to take out of them 3 goals, and the positive is that it's our own doing, and it's something that we are in control of and we can change. We weren't opened up for any of them 3 goals where a team opens us up and we go, Jesus, we are opened up there and we look really frail. They were just situations where, like you said, if Trent thinks a little bit more, instead of hitting it with his left foot, he lets it, he just shovels it with his right foot out for a corner. The 3rd goal, if Wijnaldum doesn't bottle a header, he heads the ball out and it goes for a throw, and we probably make it out and we get it. And
if Mignolet had a cleaned out man and ball on the line as well for that 3rd goal.
Yeah, but it starts with Wijnaldum just win that header. It's simple stuff that we are in control of, and although people can say it's so fucking simple, we should be able to do it. Yeah, I get that point, but it's still something where it's not a case of where we've been absolutely played around and, you know, the players are literally being exposed big time. The forced goal is the one that annoys me the most, and it's not. Firmino loses a man. People are trying to blame Lovren for some reason. Lovren is standing where he's meant to stand. Firmino loses him. The ball comes across. Matip gets under it. My point is, them 3 players should be standing on their goal line when that ball's coming in and running out to attack it. It sounds fucking stupid, but that's just something that I look at.
Well, Gav, that's the thing, isn't it? People argue about some people, I suppose, don't really understand the zonal marking system, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm a professional that knows this inside out, but the basic of it is he left Lovren's zone, went into Firmino's zone. He therefore became Firmino's responsibility, and Firmino was lost, and the goal was scored.
Which is exactly the problem with zonal marking, because you ended up with a big tall player being marked by Firmino because he left the zone.
But that's my problem with it, is that if you look between Mignolet and the 6-yard box, it's just an avenue there of space, and it's the most dangerous of space, and we're not standing in it. Why don't we all just drop? If Mignolet isn't going to say, look, if anything comes in there, that's mine. Now, he probably does, but I think Matip should be heading it away. He gets under it. But look, it's simple stuff that we can adjust to, and we can make better. So it's not as if we're being completely exposed and we can't get close to players. It is something we can do. Positives, Salah, although a little bit frustrating in the first half, always dangerous. Really good second half. Mane is a fucking top player. Firmino, I thought was really good, especially in the second half. He scores the penalty. He sets up Salah. The midfield is a problem. It's definitely a problem. And it's, if you look before the first goal, I think it's a ball from Trent into Henderson. He's completely flat-footed. He's not quick enough to react to it. The midfielder gets onto it, or I think it's a striker or whatever gets onto it. And Jan, instead of running beside him and trying to muscle with him, dives in, loses it. Henderson is still out of position. The ball is played through, and Lovren gets a block on it. But the midfield for me was really, really disjointed for the whole game. And they weren't helped by the defenders, but they were in turn saved by the attackers, you know. The lads are right. If you do keep Coutinho and you put him into that midfield in place of, for me, it'll probably be Jan or Henderson. It could be quite frightening. So, look, first day of the season, we get over it. We go on to Tuesday night and we go on to Palace at the weekend, and we'll be okay. People need to stop panicking. We'll be fine.
Phil, you wanted to come in with one last point before I move on?
Yeah, do you know what? It was just about the midfield. I agree with both of you completely. I think you mentioned Salah couldn't really get into it in the first half. A lot of that was down to delivery. He just wasn't getting it. And I think, no disrespect to the guys, but, Wijnaldum, good player when he wants to be. He's a bit hit and miss. He's a decent player. I love him as a player, but there's games that he goes missing.
Should have scored as well.
Exactly. Well, yeah, what was that? Yeah, I don't even want to think about that. Henderson is Hendo. Hendo can have all 4 seasons in one game, as far as I'm concerned. He can be goal missing, then he can look like he's running things, then he can be an absolute arsehole and just be making loads of mistakes, and then he can ping a really good 45-yard pass. So Hendo for me is really frustrating for what he could be. And Emre's still really naive. He still makes a lot of the same mistakes. Like if he loses the ball or he makes a mistake or he gives possession away or he doesn't receive a pass he was supposed to or he gets tackled, his first reaction is to go and shove him over or give him a kick. I mean, he does it every single time. You watch, every time Emre Can makes a mistake, he will at very least try to foul the player. And he's thick sometimes. It really annoys me. But I just couldn't see where that creative spark was in that midfield. And I know we're talking about Phil, but Phil or anyone else, it doesn't really matter. I was waiting for somebody to be creative. I was waiting for somebody to grab the game by the balls and drive it forward. And I don't feel anybody in our midfield did.
I think that's a fair point, and I think that's maybe what's annoyed Klopp the most about the whole Coutinho situation is he thought he had that sussed. He thought he had that player there to provide. Grizz, tomorrow night, the lads are playing Hoffenheim in what is a very, very big game for the football club. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting it to be the toughest game of our campaign if we qualify. Do you remember we're doing a pod with regards to discussing how we could do in the Champions League? And I said the the qualifier will be our hardest game. And I still stick by that. The qualifier will be a very tough game. We've happened to draw Hoffenheim, which probably one of the hardest draws we could have got. A very, very decent team, a very young, aspiring quality manager. Listen, it's going to be tough. It's going to be nervy. It's going to be tight. It's been well documented that they're the best at set pieces in Germany, I think, equal with Bayern, I think, or something like that. We're shocking. So, it's a recipe for entertainment, let's just call it, I think team-wise, selection-wise, I think he's going to go strong again. It's funny you should talk about the midfield, Phil, in terms of creative spark and everything, and I agree. But I think it's going to be a total different mentality tomorrow. I think those three are probably our best suited for an away game where we need to sort of press and hound and don't let the opposition play. So in that sense, the only change I foresee, don't kill me on this now, everyone altogether, but I can definitely see Milner coming back into left back and that being the only change.
I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, so, I mean, there is rumours of because they've got do you guys remember Serge Gnabry from Arsenal?
Yeah.
He's actually...
He's got a ridiculous haircut.
He's actually very good. He's one that I was hoping that we'd be linked to in the summer, but my DMs obviously get through. But he's apparently not 100% for tomorrow, so that could be a sort of blessing in disguise. But look, they're not fancy Dans. They haven't got any outstanding players, but they're a very strong unit, and we could have our A game on, man. It's no doubt about it. The pressure is really on. This game is huge for so many reasons. But we've got to go in there with a very, very strong mentality. I'm sure Klopp will have them. Klopp's always, when he goes to away games in sort of Europe and, against backs against the walls type thing, he's the best manager for us. And I'm really confident we can come out with a positive result.
Grizz, I'm going to ask you for a quick prediction. So give me a score for tomorrow, or at least a prediction.
I think we win 2-1.
I love it, Grizz. I'm taking that. Gav, Grizz is on the positive bus, 2-1. I'm taking that. What's your view on this tomorrow? What are we going to do? We're going to win? We're going to draw? We're going to get hammered? Tell me, quick.
We draw 1-1. And you take that all day. The draw away from home and away goal. Grizz is probably right. I'd agree with him. I'd put Milner back in left full. Although Robertson will be my first choice left full this season, from what I've seen in pre-season and the way he links up with Mane. The midfield, I think, do you know what? It might be a shout where he plays, say, Henderson and Jean, or Henderson, Wijnaldum, or two of those three. And maybe drops Firmino off the front and plays a three in behind another one. Might be Solanke. Once it's not Origi, I don't care.
One quick question, Gav, on the whole Hendo Chan thing. Do you think we're getting to a stage where Hendo Chan could end up being the new Lampard and fucking Gerrard? They just can't.
No, it's not. You see, it's not that they can't play together. It's just that they're fighting for one position in the team, and just circumstances made the two of them in it, and they don't suit each other. Yeah, you're probably right. I just don't think they suit each other. I think in a 2 they may suit each other, but in a 3 I don't think they do, one ahead of the other. I think they both want to do the same job, and if they're in a 2 they might. But another question is this: Sturridge hurt himself against Bayern Munich 12 days ago now, was it?
Oh, he's only going to be out for a day though, just one training session tops.
And now he hasn't travelled to Germany, so
Klopp said today that he's 1 session, 2 sessions away from being back or something.
Okay, well that's probably self-imposed by Klopp, where he decides that no, you need a week or whatever. But I wouldn't mind seeing two of Jan Henderson, Wijnaldum in a 2. Play Mane, play Salah, drop Firmino back 1, and put Solanke up front.
I'd like that. And
it's just you're a bit more solid with those two rather than kind of I know it's 3 in midfield, but it's actually 2 ahead of the defensive midfielder. So maybe 2 there with these 3 behind. Firmino dropping in and doing his bits and pieces around midfield, but he's also able to break. Solanke's looked good, and a 1-1 draw.
Would you take the same system, Gav, with Origi instead of Solanke?
Absolutely not. I'd rather play with 10 men, and especially if we go 1 up. Look, I can't talk about Origi anymore because I'm in great form, and you're only trying to upset me now.
That would be my fear, though, because Klopp, if he was to change that system, I'd have an awful sneaking suspicion that Klopp would probably go with Origi.
Yeah, he
probably would. But can you? I made a point here the other day about Origi, right? When he comes off the bench, when we're winning games, he is absolutely fucking atrocious. Now I don't know whether that's me, and it's just a biased view I have of him, but he doesn't run channels. He gets caught offside. He loses the ball. He doesn't link up. He doesn't release the ball when he's meant to. All these things you're meant to do when you're protecting the lead and you need a man up front to just do one of these fucking things and you make the game safe. And he does none of them. And we can talk about, he's raw and he's this and that. Look, I don't know how long we're going to make excuses for this fella. Ben Woodburn is 17 years of age or 18 years of age, and he's strolling around football pitches like he owns them. And Divock Origi is 2 and 3 years into these things and looks fucking lost.
No, I can't argue. I can't argue with you. You have it. I'm not a fan of Origi either. I was a year or 2 ago. I was at the stage where I was expecting him to explode and possibly become a Drogba type, Lukaku type player, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Phil, Gav's gone with 1-1. Grizz has given us a 2-1 win. What's your thoughts and your prediction for tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm sticking with what I said on the podcast the other day. I still think we'll win 2-1.
Grizz, he's off. He's pulling a Keith on you here, buddy. Robbing your answers.
I'm with that. Actually, I answered it in the podcast earlier, so I'm gonna say he robbed my answer. But genuinely, I am.
I was gonna say 1-1. I'm quite good at this now because I knew Gav. For some reason, I was gonna say 1-1, but I knew Gav was gonna say 1-1, so I wanted to be a bit more positive.
No, cheeky git. Do you know what do I think about the game tomorrow? I agree. I'd love to see Solanke play. I just think Origi would be ahead of him in Klopp's mind.
We can't throw in Solanke tomorrow, guys. I'm sorry.
I don't think you should be.
We can't throw in Solanke.
Do you know what the problem is, though, mate? We need some creativity in that midfield because the guys that were there were shocking. If we play the same midfield that we played against Watford,
not for tomorrow. Tomorrow we need to be solid. We need to have our best man up front, which is Bobby. We need to have our best wide men, which is Salah and Mane, and we need to have the most solid midfield that will protect our shaky defense, which is those.
Yeah, but they're not a solid midfield. They're not a solid midfield.
We haven't found a formation and a method of playing which enables us to be solid with them, but they actually the strongest, physically most dominating midfielders we have at the moment.
Well, that's true, but that doesn't make them solid. Just because they're the most solid we have doesn't make them solid. And I'm sorry, it's not about formation for me. They've had enough time to get used to these tactics and this formation now. You either cut it or you don't. I just don't think... I think if you're going to go into football games with them in your team, you're going to have to go all out attack because that's all you've got. Because you can't trust your defence and you can't trust your midfield. So if you know that there's leaks,
I think we keep a clean sheet. I've changed my prediction. I've changed my prediction, Craig.
Go on, Grizz, give it to us.
We're going to win tomorrow. We're going to keep a clean sheet.
I don't think there's a hope in hell we're going to keep a clean sheet.
You see,
that's fine. We're
going to keep a clean sheet.
Phil, you roiled the fucking beast now, and Grizz is hit back and he's hit back big style.
Grizz, I'm sticking with this, mate. There's not a hope in hell we're keeping a clean sheet tomorrow. Not a hope in hell.
I think there's a bet to be had here. Gav, what do you think?
I don't bet. Don't gamble.
No, I'm not talking about money, but there's surely some way we can get a forfeit going here if we concede. We'll do this off air, but we'll have to sort out something else because one of you has to suffer.
Look, the odds are stacked against me, right?
Hey, listen, don't back down now, Billy Big Bollocks.
They will not dominate us tomorrow.
No, you see what's going to happen is
we'll be strong and solid tomorrow. Watch.
Leave Grizz alone, will you? He's going on fucking telly in a mid-sized short from Asda on Wednesday, so like he's enough on his plate.
Lads,
Strong and solid. You sound like Theresa May. You're scaring the shit out of me now.
we're not getting into politics. We don't do politics. We're not intelligent enough to talk politics on this show. We don't even try and hide behind it, lads.
And we don't fucking care.
We could talk all night. We could talk about Coutinho. We could talk about it all, but we're going to have to leave it there. I need to get some rest. I'm absolutely knackered. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. We'll be back with an off the cuff as soon as the game's over. Gav, if I'm correct, we're hoping to do it as a video pod, buddy. Is that right?
Yeah, off the cuff tomorrow night will be a video. Keep your eye out for Periscope before the game, maybe at half time. We're just, to be honest, we're meeting up tomorrow night to do this podcast, and we're just going to have a bit of crack with it. So it could be Periscopes. There'll definitely be a live off the cuff. We might do a bit of Periscope on that as well, and then it'll be released later on, but we'll have it out as soon as we possibly can for you.
Yeah, so as Gav said, it could be a bit of Periscope. We're still playing around with formulas, seeing what works, seeing what you guys like, seeing what we can interact with you guys on. So keep an eye out tomorrow, just before the game. Maybe half hour before we'll be on Periscope, hopefully, but we'll let you guys know anyway. Huge thanks to Gav, Phil and Grizz for coming on. We'll chat to you guys soon. I've been your host, Craig. Good night.